The Libyan state in the next few years will probably be unable to exercise its authority over most of the country. The government is almost entirely dependent on regional and tribal militias to enforce its authority. These militias regularly fight one another and disobey the government. What we are seeing right now is that militias from the coastal strip between Misrata and Tripoli are increasingly dominant. This is leading to additional conflicts between militias from those areas and the tribes and militias from deeper in the interior in the country, and between the tribes and militias in the east. The militias from the coastal strip are supported by Islamists. These Islamists are becoming increasingly capable within the security forces and are taking key positions within the security forces. And the perception that a small group of people is now in control of the government is going to drive more demands for regional autonomy in the east of the country and in the deep south, in the Fezzan province. Given the small size of the population in these areas and the high level of oil wealth that is present in these areas, it is very probable that we will see movements demanding stronger regional autonomy, less authority for the Tripoli government, and this will probably lead to disruption in the energy sector. We're probably going to see the various tribal conflicts that are occurring in Libya impacting energy production, particularly in the west of the country. In the west, there's a large number of conflicts between the tribes of the region and between the residents of the interior and the residents of the coast, with ethnic and tribal groups demanding greater representation. Given the fact that the pipeline network in the west of the country passes through the turf of a large number of rival militias and tribes, what we're probably going to end up seeing is conflict between these actors that impacts on energy production, with these various actors coming in and shutting down production either by closing down pipeline valves or shutting down export terminals or shutting down production at the oil fields themselves. What this will mean is that energy production in the west of the country will be very vulnerable to disruption, with regular closures occurring. We're also likely to see regular infighting between the militias across the whole country, and we're probably going to see that the Libyan government will be unable to provide security and enforce its remit over most parts of the country. Security will remain in local and regional hands rather than being the province of the central government. There are two ways in which this prognosis could improve in Libya. Firstly, we could see agreement between a limited number of key militias, whereby these militias use the force that they have to impose their own version of security on the country, maintain a certain level of energy production flowing, and use the combination of weapons and funding to achieve a minimal level of stability. The second and probably more lasting arrangement would be agreement on a constitution that devolves significant powers to the various regions. This would encourage the establishment of governments that are more responsive to their populations and that can eventually become more stable and more capable of providing security. Right now, neither of these two possibilities appears likely.